Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Music Go Round. And today, because we're doing the Who, the wonderful, horrible Who, we're doing live at Leeds. Some say it's the best live album of all time. Originally released, he says, referring to the Wikipedia page, wiki, on the 23rd of May 1970, and it was recorded 14th of February 1970 at Leeds, University of Leeds Refectory. Some say it is the greatest live album of all time. Again, see, look, this version, it tries to replicate what was in, because in the original release they had some ephemera, some contracts, some bits of paper and a picture, and it opened like that. There you go. And the first 500, it was stamped in black, apparently. I don't know. I don't know if it's collectible. I think didn't the copy end up on that show about the pawn shop in Las Vegas? I think a copy ended up there. It's a beautiful 42 minutes long, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. And yeah, it's, what can I say? Again, live albums. Oh, I'm not exactly the greatest live album fan. But the original version, because I'm going to talk about the expanded version in a minute, opens with Young Man Blues. Young man's got nothing in the world today. And Summertime Blues and Shaken All Over. So 3 of the tracks on the first side are covers, but the Who make those covers their own. But it does hark back to their early years, the rhythm and blues and their influences. So it's quite, it's quite interesting, the track selection, because this is on the back of Tommy. Tommy's been a big hit. They want something to keep the fans interested whilst they work on the next album, and this is the go-between. But they don't give them what you think they're going to give them. They give them something different, and that's what makes it a very interesting live album, is the track selection. So, like I say, Young Man Blues, Substitute, they've got to do the hit, Summertime Blues, Shaking All Over. On the other side, My Generation, of course, which is an epic 14 minutes long. Wowzers, I'm sure it wasn't that long when they released it as a single. And a 7-minute 57-second version of Magic Bus, another single release. But it's the power and the energy and the enthusiasm and the sheer raucous, raw energy of it that propels you forward. And again, it's very different. Whereas Tommy is a lot of the rough edges are smoothed off of Tommy. Again, the Who as a band, they can be a bit rough and ready, and at that point, Tommy is the shiny version of the band, and this reverts back to the band with the energy and the voice and the guitar and the bass and the mad drummer. That's what you get on this record. It really captures the band doing what they do. And that's great, and that's what makes it a classic live album. Now, when I were a lad, and I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly when it was. I guess it was about 2001, because again, I've owned so many different versions of this. There was a 1995. I'm looking at Wikipedia and cheating. There was a 1995 CD reissue, which I think I had, which has an expanded track list, more of the actual the gig, with more of the Who songs, and then in 2001 there's the deluxe edition, which this version apes and comes on 6 sides of vinyl, and like I say, it has again I'm just checking the track listing. I'm sure the track listing, is quite different. I see, they've kind of split it up. But you do have, opens with Heaven and Hell, John Entwistle track, Can't Explain, Fortune Teller, Tattoo, again another favourite of mine, Young Man Blues, Substitute, Happy Jack. They do Happy Jack. I'm a Boy, Quick One. They do, again, another little mini rock opera there. Summertime Blues, Shaking All Over, My Generation, Magic Bus. But then, there's more. They do the entire version of the live version of Tommy, and you can get that included in this as well. So it's like it's an amazingly long release. Very, very big. Very, very big. The first set song 66 minutes, the second set even 53 minutes. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And there was a 40th anniversaries collector's edition box set. You know, I didn't get that one. Can't get everything, which expands it further, bringing in Live at Hull into the set as well. So this, I mean, this is the one everybody knows, but this shows you what they were really doing, and it shows they're a band that has amazing energy and drive. You know, because this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon. They're on the stage for a long time doing all these songs, and it being exciting and thrilling, and a great rush of energy and music. And you can see why they're one of the best bands, or were one of the. Well, they are one of the best. I say were because they've lost 2 members, and you know the Who now is quite different to the Who then. So there are different versions of the Who. So hopefully you'll appreciate my say they were. That version is complicated, isn't it? But which version do you get? I mean, this is the tricky one. You know, if you want the authentic feel, you've got to go for the single disc version. But if you're curious, if you're really, really curious, and you want to know what it was like to really see the Who at that time, you've got to go for the deluxe edition and sit through the whole of Tommy live, which is again absolutely phenomenal to listen to, because again they don't have anything fancy. This is just a band doing it. There's no orchestra or anything. It's just them going at it and tearing through it. They really do. It's really, really, it's really cool to listen to. I really enjoy it. Really like it. But is it one of the great live albums? Well, I guess it is. It's up there with was it Deep Purple? Was it live in Japan? That's a good live album. But of course, it doesn't beat 801 Live, which we can agree is the greatest live album ever recorded. That's just my opinion. You're free to disagree. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing. And again, it's when live albums were regarded more as a stopgap. You know, in the record industry, a live album was something cheap that you could get out between you know, the proper records, and so there wasn't much regard or value, like musically they weren't that valued. It's like, oh, we'll put out a live album. A live album was the equivalent of a greatest hits, because you're still getting like all the hits, but live. You know, it's not like now. I think now live albums are given a bit more credence, you know, a bit more value to them. But back then, it was just seen as a stopgap between the real releases. So yeah, I mean that's why it is worth checking out, and it is one of those endearing records, because it is so powerful, and it kind of shook up the live album as a genre. So yeah, an important record. So yeah, that's it. I think I've said it all in terms of rating. Oh, it's got to get 5 Young Man Blues out of 5, isn't it? I'm just going to give everything 5. You know, even though, you know, I'm not a great fan of live albums. I think it's, again, especially the deluxe edition, especially this one, the heavy one. Look at it, slightly different colours, aren't they? I remember seeing these in the record shop back in the day, and it used to be like a rough cardboard, and now it's not. They haven't done that. And that one's very smooth. That one's very deluxe. That's because you pay lots of money for it. Anyway, I've been talking about the Who live at Leeds. I hope you've enjoyed it. There's only one more thing left to say. By now, you should know what that is, and that is ta-da!